Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, welcome. This past week my kids were all sick. One of the things that I get asked about the most is what do I do for my kids when they're sick? A lot of people who follow me or who know me personally know that I prefer a more natural method and take on things, especially when it comes to my kids. And also, I like to save money. So this video, I'm going to give you some tips and hacks on what I do for my kids when they're sick. So if you want to learn how to take care of your kids naturally when they have a cold, then please keep watching. First, I want to talk about some of the medicines that I give them. This is probably the first thing that we do in the morning when they wake up. Like I said, I prefer more natural methods. However, if they have an infection or it's something that they do need medication for, then they will take the medication. If it's just something like a cold, then I like to use a couple of natural products. The first thing that I like to use is something called olive leaf extract, and it comes in the form of a capsule. And these capsules are great. I have started taking these 6 months ago. When my daughter was born and I brought her home from the hospital, I was actually sick. I have pictures of me with her as a newborn, and I was wearing a mask because I was so afraid to get her sick, and I couldn't even give her a kiss or anything when she was born. So I started doing some research to see what I can take to boost my immune system, but something that wasn't going to affect my milk and something that was safe for a breastfeeding mom. And I came across this. So the olive leaf extract I give to my older two. I don't give it to Gracie. Jackson has learned actually how to take this capsule, and I could just give it to him orally. I open up the capsule and I only give him half of the amount that comes in this bottle. The other half I give to Liam once a day. For Liam, he doesn't really understand how to swallow the capsule. We've tried this a couple times and we still keep practicing, but he just doesn't get the concept of swallowing it down. So what I've done is made a kind of syrup out of it using some other ingredients that are great to boost your immune system. One of them is Manuka honey. Manuka honey has so many benefits to it, and there's a study that has shown that it can even help to heal a staph infection. So that's the main ingredient that I'm going to mix it in with. I use essential oils just for flavoring. This one is a citrus mix. I usually use lemon, but I was out of it on this day. And then if they have a sore throat, I'll put just the tiniest amount of clove oil. Clove has a natural numbing effect, so it kind of helps just to soothe their throat. I'm also going to add a little bit of water because the Manuka honey is really thick, so it helps to just thin it out a little bit. Liam has issues with textures, and something that's sticky or creamy, anything that's a thick kind of would coat his tongue will make him gag. So I had to thin it out. And then I also put some blue agave nectar or syrup, which is good to sweeten it up a little bit. It's very similar to honey, except for that is actually safe for babies, in case you didn't know. The next thing that I like to give them is a natural cough suppressant, and I prefer something that will help to boost their immune system as well. So I pick up these two. This is the one that I use for my boys. It's the Zarabees cough syrup. This one is just the nighttime one that I grabbed, but we use this one at night to help them sleep. It just has some melatonin in it to relax them. They also have one that doesn't have it if that's not what you're looking for. But the main ingredient that's in here is honey. And they also put English ivy leaf, grapefruit seed extract, and this one, it just works really this one just works really, really well for them. What I recently picked up for Gracie is also by Zarabees, and it's a agave and ivy leaf. So like I said earlier, the agave nectar is safe for babies as opposed to honey. You don't want to give to babies under a year. I only give it to her if she's coughing a lot, usually like before bed, because that's when they're laying down and all of that post-nasal drip is getting to the back of the throat, irritating the throat, agitating cough. So this is what I will give her if I don't have anything else on hand. Usually when they get sick, I make an elderberry syrup. Elderberry is also called sambucas, and I'm sure you guys have seen this if you've looked for like natural cough medicines. It's the most commonly one found. If you haven't heard of the benefits for elderberry syrup, I'm going to leave a link down below that explains all of the benefits and why it's good for the immune system. Elderberry syrup I've been using for a while now for my boys, as well as my husband and myself. We take it to boost our immune systems. It's a little bit different than the way like cough medicine works, that you only take it when you are sick or when you are coughing. This one you can start taking or giving to your children when it's like cold season, or they're going to be around somebody who's coughing or has a cold. You can give them a little bit every single day. I give them 5 mLs or 1 teaspoon to just boost up their immune system. But if they're sick, I'll do that twice a day. And if you guys are interested in my recipe for that, I can make a video on that. Just let me know in the comments below. That way, if you guys are interested in seeing it, I'll go ahead and film it for you guys, because I need to make some more for us anyways. When my kids are sick, they don't really have a big appetite, and my son, along with his cough, usually gets somewhat of an upset stomach. He, like I said, he has issues with texture, so when he has like phlegm and cough and stuff, he will actually gag from it, and food will do that to him as well. So typical foods like eggs for breakfast, it's just a recipe for disaster. So we usually stick to the brat diet. This is the diet that you would use if they have like an upset tummy, and the brat diet is for bananas, rice, apples, and toast, which is typically the foods that they like eating during those times anyways. So since they weren't sick from their stomach, I also made them some soup, which they didn't even end up eating, but they did eat the applesauce that I gave them, as well as if they have a cold, then I always give them pineapples. Pineapples have a natural enzyme in them called Bromelain, and that has a lot of benefits, helps clear up mucus and boost their immune system. I'm going to put a link in the description for that as well, that just gives information about the benefits of eating pineapples or the bromelain enzyme when you're sick. And in addition to that, they also take a vitamin C supplement. I feel like this one's kind of a no-brainer, but I'm still gonna just put it in here anyways. Vitamin C helps boost your immune system. Is probably one of the most commonly known things people drink. You can drink a glass of orange juice, eat oranges, which my kids also like to eat, or you know, a supplement, they like these chewable ones or the gummies. And also for yourself, I recommend the Emergency packets. They have an Immunity Plus. Formula, and they also have a straight vitamin C. Don't forget to take care of yourself either, because it never fails. Whenever your kids are sick, you're taking care of them, you're snuggling with them, they're gonna get you sick. As soon as everybody's done being sick, then that's always when I would get sick. By doing these things and also taking everything that I mentioned before at the same time with them, I have not been sick since my daughter was born, so that's now 6 months. 6 months for me not to be sick is such a long time. So that's why I really wanted to share these tips with you guys, because it has helped me and changed so much, because I hate being sick. Nobody's there to take care of you when you're a mom, and you still have to take care of your kids. You don't have a day off. So I have stuck to doing all of these things every time they're sick, and it has helped me so much. When they have stuffy noses and they need to be wiping their nose constantly, and you try to have tissues handy, I like to do this little hack. Here we had already finished a box of Kleenex, so I showed Jackson how to do this. You just put 2 rubber bands around 2 Kleenex boxes, and that way you have your tissues to wipe your nose with and the trash. So that way they don't have to get up every time or call you. I was getting that, Mom, my tissue. So I decided to just figure out a way to put trash can right in the living room next to the couch, so I didn't have to go and get it each time. And the kids thought it was fun, so it worked out. When tissues won't work and you have to suction their nose, then this is how I do it with my bigger kids. The number one thing that we use is a nasal aspirator. We use the Nose Frida, and I picked up this box from Target. This one came with everything that you need in it. It comes with the actual nose sucker itself. We have 3 of these. We have 2 upstairs, we keep 1 downstairs. I mean, these things are just amazing. This package, it comes with a saline spray to help loosen everything up that you spray in before you start to suction their nose, and then also it has the filters that you need for it, so it comes in a complete package. Usually you just use like these nose suckers on babies, but my kids have not learned how to blow their nose yet, so I'm also going to show you guys a way that I can suction out my bigger kids' noses when they're sick. What I do is I lay a blanket down on wherever I'm going to suction his nose, whether it's on the bed, the couch, anywhere that you're comfortable, and then I lay him down on top of it. And you're just going to tuck the blanket around him, similar to like what you would do if you're swaddling a baby. This will help to keep their arms down. They absolutely hate getting their nose cleaned. So he's crying here and I feel so bad, but I know that this is the only way that I'm gonna get everything out of his nose for him, and the safest way, because I don't want to hurt him using excessive force or for him to hurt me because he's so much bigger than a little baby who can't really do anything but squirm around anymore. After we're done, then he just wants to be snuggled, and his nose stays clear for a while after this before I have to do it again, but that's just how I have to do it, especially when I'm by myself. If my husband's home, then he helps me to hold him so I can suction, or vice versa. Usually he holds the boys because they're so big and they're getting so strong. There is no kid stronger than a kid who's trying to avoid getting their nose suctioned. Another thing that I do to boost their immune system is use essential oils. And I cannot say enough good things about this. This particular blend is a recipe that I got from a friend. When my kids were sick, she actually sent me a sample. I was never really into essential oils before it, but this was also at the same time when Gracie was a newborn and home from the hospital. We lived in my bedroom for like 2-3 weeks because my boys were sick, and they didn't see the baby for the first 2-3 weeks of her life because I was so afraid of her getting sick as a newborn. So I started using this on them, and I would put it on her too, just in case, because I was going back and forth between all of my kids. So I didn't want to get her sick, and I needed to get better as well. And this blend is amazing. She never got sick. And like I said, I was sick during this time. I was breastfeeding her, I was holding her. You know, newborns, you're holding them all the time, you're around them all the time, and she did not get sick with this. So if you're interested in the recipe for that blend, I'm going to leave it in the description down below, and also my link if you're interested in the oils, but this is what I use. So I apply it to Gracie's feet, the bottoms of her feet, and then on her chest, and on my boys I apply it to the bottoms of their feet and on their chest and neck as well. If you start to feel a little bit sick, I recommend that you apply this onto yourself also. I like to put it on top of my throat, especially when my throat, that's always like the first symptom for me. My throat will start getting like itchy and stuff, and I just put it on. My husband even takes this with him to work now because it's helped him so much. If your child is on a medication, I suggest doing this hack because it makes things so much easier when you're trying to track the doses that you have to give them, especially if it's more than once a day. So here you can see on the back of the bottle, I just drew a lined grid. He has to take this medication for 7 days, so I wrote out a full week and AM and PM at the top. That way I can check off when he takes his morning dose and then his night dose. Another natural tip that I found has helped us a lot is getting some fresh air. So if you can't get your kids outside, if they're really not feeling good or it's ugly outside, even just open a window. Sometimes just getting that fresh air, feeling the air on your face, just soothes them, it calms them down. I took my kids out into the backyard and you can tell they still weren't feeling good. They went outside in their pajamas, but they came back inside and then they were able to relax a lot better. And I try to do this at least once a day with them, get them outside for at least 5-10 minutes, as long as they are still comfortable being outside. At the end of the day, before bedtime, I like to change their sheets. I find that this just helps with the spread of germs. I like to change their sheets more frequently when they're sick. I try to every day, it doesn't always happen, but the more frequent that you change them, the better. Also, a Epsom salt bath. The bath salts just really help to draw out the sickness and all the germs, helps to detoxify, and I add some more essential oils into this. I find that this blend really helps to draw out all of that mucus and that congestion, everything that makes them feel so ugly. I just use a combination of lavender, this Thieves oil, and another blend, RC. I also like to put a humidifier in the room. You can also add essential oils into it. I didn't know that you could do this before. A humidifier is very similar to a diffuser. If you have a diffuser, then you can use that as well. I find that the humidifier, it puts out a lot more moisture into the air. So I add in some essential oil. I usually use lavender or a eucalyptus or tea tree. Sometimes a combination of all of them, whichever one your child likes most or will help them sleep. Here I'm using a blend from Young Living that's called Sleep Ease, and I was using this one because I just really wanted to help him relax. That way he can sleep really good through the night. Another thing that I like to use is a chest rub. The most commonly used one is Vicks, but my kids do not like that one. I've used the baby Vicks and it just smelled chemically, I guess is the right word. And then the regular Vicks, it was just too strong for them. It felt so bad. He didn't like the menthol, kind of burning, cooling feeling it gave him. So the one that I buy and I still use for my older kids is this one here. This one is by Little Remedies. It's called Little Colds Baby Rub, and I've had this for a while now. I think this one's almost empty. But this one is just all natural and it works so well. It just has some petroleum, eucalyptus oil, mineral oil, coconut oil, rosemary leaf oil, peppermint, and lavender oils. And I still continue to buy this for my kids. I really recommend this one. Another one that I want to try that I've heard is a brand that's really good is a brand called Mattys. It's M-A-T-Y-S. And that brand has a chest rub similar to this one. I have the Zarabees one, the cough syrup that I use, and I didn't find it to be as strong as this one was as far as the vapors from it. It's made with beeswax, so it's more of a waxy texture when you put it on as opposed to oil, and it just didn't seem as potent, I guess. I put that on and then still on top of that put the oils, and I felt like it was barely really like doing anything for them. So they actually asked for this one, and this is what they prefer. After all my kids are in bed, I like to sanitize everything. I try to keep them in one room just to contain the germs. So I recommend to sanitize. And what I'm going to use here is a more natural alternative to Lysol. And I just recently found this one. I find that it works decently well, as I'm also going to use these Germex wipes. And these ones I usually take with me everywhere it comes. This one is in a little to-go package. I also use these like in public bathrooms to like clean the toilet seat for my kids when they have to go to the bathroom. But this works really well to clean off things like your remote, or you can also clean off any electronic devices, anything that you really just need to wipe down. I use both of these things because I want to make sure that all the germs are gone, just to avoid spreading germs. So this is everything that I do for my kids when they're sick. It is a lot of things. I lost count. I think it's like more than 10 things. But I find that doing all of this for them, it makes their colds shorter. Also, of course, snuggles are what every kid needs when they're not feeling well. I know that it sounds like a lot of things, and I think it is, but this has just been what has worked best for me. I notice if I slack off on any of these things, or I miss some of the doses of these things, then they'll start to get worse, or they're coughing a little bit more. So I try to do all of these as much as possible. I don't do every single one of these things every day that they're sick, but overall this is everything that I try to do. So I hope that if you have a sick kid or baby and you're watching this, that they feel better soon, and that you can try some of these out. If you guys have any questions about it or anything, please message me if I wasn't clear on something in this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope if you guys have any sick kids that they start feeling better soon, that you get some rest, because I know how much we don't sleep when our kids are sick. Also, if you're interested in elderberry syrup, if you want a separate recipe video, just let me know in the comments and I will post that up for you guys. And please like this video if you enjoyed it. That way I know that you guys are liking the videos that I'm putting out. And please don't forget to subscribe. I'll be making a lot more videos. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.